Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video we're going to be talking about 4 very good reasons to get back together with your ex. Now, getting back together with your ex, going through a breakup and deciding that you want to get back together with your ex can be a difficult process emotionally. It's often not that difficult when it comes to actually doing it, but just because of many of the emotional challenges involved in it, it can seem very, very difficult. Many times we have people in our lives that will tell us, breakups happen for a reason, just move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you love someone, let them go. If they come back to you, they loved you the whole time. If they don't, then they never did. And all of this sort of stuff, right? Many times this sort of thing can get to someone's head and they can end up talking themselves out of the relationship that they want, simply because their friends and family are telling them, hey, this is not good for you, you should leave. You should give up on this. And to be fair, sometimes you probably should just turn around and walk away. But we also want to acknowledge that our friends and family are coming to us as people who care about us, and they don't want to see us hurt, they don't want to see us in pain, and maybe they know that this breakup has caused you hurt and pain, and so they don't want you to feel that way. So they're saying like, hey, just move on from this, right? But before you let all of that get to you, first of all, I don't want you to just kind of be letting other people steer your life for you. I want you to be making choices on your own. Whether you choose to get back together with your ex, pursue that, or move on, I want this to be a choice that you make, not that other people are making for you, whether that's me, whether that's your parents, whether that's your family, whether that's anyone else in your life, whether that's some other coach. I want you to be, consciously choosing what you want or don't want, rather than letting outside factors make those decisions for you. But this video is really about 4 good reasons to actually consider getting back together with your ex. And so the first one is that the two of you actually have similar values in life and you want similar things in life. Now, granted, there are a lot of times that people get together in a relationship, and then as they go through life, or as they learn more about themselves, they realize, oh, hey, I thought I wanted this, but it turns out I want that, or I thought I wanted that, but it turns out I want this. And maybe sometimes people just grow apart in different sorts of ways. If you do have similar values, if you do want similar things in life, then it actually could make a lot of sense for the two of you to be in a relationship. If you do get together in a relationship with someone, if you have similar life visions, goals, intentions, and things like that, you're much more likely to actually be able to cooperate and work with one another. Whereas if you don't have similar values or goals or things like that, then you may end up in a very difficult place where for one of you to be happy, the other one has to be miserable, or maybe both of you have to be miserable, which is not a great setup either. So what we want to do is we want to say, okay, like, do we actually want the same things in life? Do we actually, maybe do we both want to start a family? Do we both want to settle down? Do we both want to travel the world? Do we both want to pursue our careers and become, amazingly awesome at them? Do we both want to, do this, retire to, Mexico or something like that? Start thinking about these sorts of values, these sorts of goals, these sorts of intentions. And if the two of you do have similar things, okay, maybe that is worth considering. Obviously, it's not the only factor, but it is an important one. Sure, because if you are going to be in a relationship with someone, you do want to be able to have some degree of agreement and some degree of understanding about what this is all about, where you're going, and all of that sort of stuff. The second thing that could indicate that it might be a good idea to try to save this relationship is if you are starting to have good relationship patterns and habits in your dynamics with one another. Now, many times these things can be learned and they can be sort of installed into both of your behaviors, but these are where many of these things that we've talked about in previous videos start to come into play. Like, can we be on the same team? Can we talk about things that need to be talked about? Can we cooperate? Or is it like one person just sort of saying like, okay, this is what I want, and I'm like unable or unwilling to consider anyone else's point of view or something like that? That's probably not a great setup for a good relationship. But if we're able to actually work together and cooperate together, then that is a good pattern for a successful relationship, right? Now, obviously, sometimes people don't have these things at the beginning because they don't know that they can do this. They don't know that they can just be on the same team with their partner. For better or worse, a lot of times people have a little bit messed up views on dating and relationships. They think that men and women are inherently enemies. They think that, men and women fundamentally speak different languages and that it's impossible for them to understand one another, and that you have to, veil your intentions and suppress yourself and things like that in order to actually communicate with someone of the opposite gender or something like that. These are things that can be unlearned or things that can be overwritten due to actually setting certain agreements in place between the two of you. That's why we often advocate things like a same team conversation. But if we give our partner a chance to kind of step into these good, positive relationship patterns and they do take us up on it, then okay, great, there's something to work on there. But if they are just entrenched in a non-compatible way of being, let's put it that way, then we may just be creating some problems for ourselves down the road. The third sign that your ex and you getting back together could be a great idea is if the problems that caused the breakup have been resolved. Breakups happen for all sorts of different reasons. People don't trust one another, people aren't on the same team, there's misunderstandings, there's, lots of conflict or whatever the case might be. And if we can look at why that happened and correct it at a deep level, a root cause level, then that is obviously something that indicates that, hey, maybe this relationship is worth pursuing. Like if we're just going to paper over it and just, say, okay, this happened because I cheated or something like that, but we don't actually look at why you cheated, and we're just trying to say, okay, I'm not going to cheat, 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 and you just sort of like close your eyes and hope and pray for the best. You're not really dealing with the underlying cause, and potentially certain circumstances can come up in the future that could, let's just say, lead to some not so desirable outcomes. Whatever those root causes were for you and your relationship have been resolved, then okay, that's something worth considering. That's something worth talking about. By the way, if you like these videos that I do, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. It does help us out, and it does help to grow this channel. The fourth sign that getting back together with your ex could be a great thing to do, a great thing that can actually set you up for a great long-term relationship, is that there's no resentment or contempt or guilt or shaming or anything like that about the whole breakup. Now, I get it. Breakups can be a tricky thing to work through. Many times we unintentionally harbor some sort of resentment towards our partners for walking away from the relationship, for giving up, for hurting us, for jumping into a rebound relationship, for saying hurtful comments or things like that. And if you can't get over that, and if that's something that you're just going to hold on to, then that is probably something that will resurface at some point in the future. So if that's something that you can let go of, then okay, that's great. That means that, like, okay, we can put the past behind us. We can go ahead and move forward from here. We're not going to hold it over one another. We're not going to hold some sort of contempt or resent our partner or guilt or shame them because of the fact that the breakup happened, or because of the fact that, maybe some less than ideal words were said in the heat of the moment or something like that. If you can let go of that, and if you can really create that clean break from the past and create something new and awesome together, then that is also a great sign that getting back together with your ex could be a really great idea. By the way, if you do want a little bit of help and guidance from us in getting back together with your ex, or if what we've talked about does sound like it could fit your situation, you're more than welcome to apply for our coaching program over at modernlove.life/quiz. There's also a link for it down below in the description box. But I'd recommend you go check that out if that is something that you're interested in. Many times people have been interested in our coaching program and getting help from us in a deeper sort of way. So that is something that you might want to consider doing. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. This is not an exhaustive list like any of our other list videos, but this is just, some things that have been coming up in my conversations with people recently. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, and I will talk to you next time. Please take care.